What is up, YouTube? My name is Eben, and on the Edge today, we're going to take a look at a very unusual card that has not gotten a lot of attention, but may well be worthy of taking a look in the near future, and that card is Battle Reporter. Now, I know this card is easy to shrug off, especially considering when it came out in Furious Fists, we had a lot of other options out there as well for card drawing. Battle Reporter, for those of you who don't remember or don't know, is a supporter that says draw cards until you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent. Now, when you consider, when this card originally came out, the environment he was in was an environment with cards like N. N was a very common card. A card that kept you and your opponent's hands both relatively low and pretty much about the same size. Not only that, but we also had lots of other cards that could offer us lots of drawing power, especially in late game situations where Battle Reporter would probably be the most useful. Cards like Colress, that in the late game could easily offer 8, 9, or even 10 cards if circumstances were right. So when you consider Battle Reporter in terms of a black and white era, that is to say from Boundaries Crossed up, that era, yeah, Battle Reporter is kind of a pale imitation of many other very good cards. But we're about to move into a rotation where it's pretty much just X and Y, and then everything that comes after it. So options like N and Colress are going to be gone, and we'll no longer have that kind of draw power. And as people are building decks for the new environment, we're already considering the new options. Of course, we have Professor Sycamore, and of course we have options like Shauna or Professor Birch's observations for card drawing power. But I think we're all agreed that in a lot of decks, we're kind of still lacking that little bit of extra oomph that cards like in the past, Colress probably would have offered. And that's a slot that Battle Reporter has the potential to fill. Now remember, I'm not advocating that we run a whole mess of these in the deck necessarily, really. What we're looking for is a deck that would benefit from this, a deck where you're probably going to play out most of the cards in your hand, and in the late game you may be light on resources. And you also have to remember that certain other decks will get hands that end up filling up with cards toward the end. They don't want to commit too many things to the bench, or they have extra copies of things like Ultra Ball that they no longer really necessarily need. A lot of things they don't want to overextend and play. This is a situation where, like, let's say a one-teched copy of Battle Reporter would become very useful. Where early game you either play it minimally just to get a few extra cards, or you just discard it to something like Professor Sycamore or Ultra Ball. And then mid to late game, when the situation is right, you play out your hand as much as you can, you Versus Seeker, get Battle Reporter when your opponent's sitting on a fairly fat hand, and you draw yourself maybe 5 or 6 cards, which could be a game-shifting thing. In fact, against some decks, you might even be able to profit with even more card draw. Now, of course, as the next couple of sets come out, we are going to see some big changes to our meta, so Battle Reporter might benefit or not. But the thing is, what we need to keep in mind, the whole point of the Edge, as what I'm trying to do with it on my channel here, is I'm trying to keep us considering new and different options. Keep us from writing off cards that might be the make or break card. The difference between coming in top 8 or maybe just coming in top 16. Things like that. We just need to maintain an open mind, and when playtesting, especially at your local, always be willing, always be brave enough to try new and different things, even if other people don't necessarily advocate them. So anyway, that is the card, Battle Reporter, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, link is below, and I will see you next time.